Should you take group singing lessons or one-to-one private singing lessons? In this video, I'm going to explain a bit about both and hopefully help you to make a decision on whether you should take group singing lessons or one-to-one private singing lessons. My name's Carrie Griffiths and I've been singing since 1999 and I've been teaching since 2023, and I've taught singers of all kinds of contemporary singers. My own history is as a singer, as a professional singer. I've been a solo artist, I've been in bands, I've been in all different types of bands, and I've actually had 3 top 10 albums, including a #1. I've toured all over the world and I've performed in front of thousands and thousands of people, audiences of up to 30,000 at a time. So I have a lot of experience as a singer and a lot of experience as a singing teacher and a vocal coach. So let's get into it. First of all, what's the difference between group singing lessons and private singing lessons? Now, it probably seems really obvious, but I'm probably going to come up with a few things that you wouldn't necessarily know if you haven't had any singing lessons, or if you've only had group, or if you've only had one-to-one singing lessons. So the first thing is that you should always go for a trained, experienced and qualified singing teachers. I've had friends who have done a bit of singing who then go on try to become teachers and find it really difficult because they don't really understand how voices work, how to train voices, and how to deal with the difficulties that come up in singing lessons. I've also known instrumentalists who don't sing, who have then tried to give singing lessons, which I find really, really strange, because I'm not a chef. I don't cook very often. I can cook a meal, but I would never go and try and teach someone how to become a chef, because it's not my expertise. So first and foremost, find someone who is a singer, who has experience of gigging and performing, knows the difficulties that come up as a singer, and is also a trained vocal coach. So myself, I have a teaching licentiate from RSL Awards. They are the people who give certificates and award exams. So if you're going for grades, you take an exam, you get your grades. So there are grades from 1 to 8. I'm not going to go into that now. I'll probably put that in another video. And I also have a PGCE. It's a post-compulsory. No, it's not. It's not a PG. It's not. A PGCE is I can't remember. It's general education. Anyway, I can't remember what it stands for. But anyway, it's an official internationally recognised teaching qualification that you can get in the UK and in other places. So I've been teaching in FE colleges and other training organisations for a long time. I teach music, I've taught English and maths, doesn't really matter. But first and foremost, I'm a singer and a trained, qualified voice coach, singing teacher. Okay, so the differences between a one-to-one lesson and a group lesson, as I said, seems really obvious. In a group lesson, you're going to get the benefit of community. You're going to meet other people who are on a similar kind of journey to you. Now, group singing lessons are really, really great for people who are new to singing or are singing for a hobby and don't necessarily want to go out and gig and perform and really don't want to become professional singers. The other great thing about group singing is that we know it's been proven time and time again that singing is great for your mental and your physical well-being. And when you sing in a group, it's also been proven that it allows you to bond with each other a lot more quickly. So singing is really great as a bonding exercise. And we've seen this throughout history. Ancient tribes, current tribes all use singing as a way of bonding. You get it down the football. If you're into football, you'll know that when you sing those, you do those chants with your mates, there's a real feeling of community, and that's the same in singing lessons. One-to-one private singing lessons, you're going to get a more bespoke, a more tailored set of exercises and warm-ups and technical exercises specifically for your voice, specifically for the songs that you're singing, and specifically for the challenges and the difficulties that come up with your voice. Now, of course, there's a difference in investment. Group lessons are much more affordable and accessible for a lot of people. One-to-one lessons, there is a premium. And so you'll always pay more for private singing lessons, just the same as everything else. Doing something as a group is always more cost effective, but you don't always get the specifics that you need. Now, one-to-one singing is group lessons are really good for people who know that they can pitch well, that they can hold a tune, and are confident singing in front of other people. One-to-one singing lessons are better if you're not sure whether you can pitch properly, or you think you're tone deaf. Tone deafness doesn't really exist, but if you think you're tone deaf and you'd like to be able to sing on pitch, one-to-one singing lessons are the way to go. You don't really get the personal touch that you need in a group singing lesson. So let's start with the singers who do call themselves tone deaf, who find it difficult to pitch. If you feel like you sing out of tune or off key, private singing lessons are going to help you to train your ear so that you can hear the notes that you should be singing and the notes that you are singing, and differentiate between the two, so that then you can eventually marry them up so that the actual notes of the melody are what you're singing. You don't get that so much in group lessons because there just isn't the time to give that personal touch to every single person, usually. Now, you can practice hearing notes, and you can practice them in a few ways. So this is what I recommend. You don't have to take the first steps by yourself. You don't have to wait to improve your singing. So if you can't quite afford one-to-one singing lessons yet, I would recommend saving up for some, and while you're doing that, get started yourself. So you can use a pitching app. There are lots and lots of pitching apps around. It will take a few tries to find the one you like, and you can. I'm going to put some links in the description or the comments, wherever you're seeing this, so you can have a go yourself. Take some time, maybe take a few days on each, and then decide which is the best for you. When you're choosing songs, choose songs that are within your range. Don't go for anything that's too high or too low. You can change the key, but I don't really recommend that at first. I recommend getting used to choosing songs that are within your range. Okay? Now, if there's very slightly high for you or very slightly low, that's okay, because eventually you're going to train your voice and expand your range. Choose songs choose songs that hover around the same place as well. Yeah, so songs like Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. The verses and the chorus, actually, they're all very much around the same note. So he left no time to regret, kept himself wed with his same old safe bet. Now, that's all around the same note. Da, 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 da. It's all the same note. Da, 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 da. And it only changes at the end. Da, 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 da. Okay, it doesn't have to have all of the vibrato. It doesn't have to have all the different nuances. You just want to be able to hit the notes straight on, effortlessly. So other good songs, Mr. Brightside by The Killers. But coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. Started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. The whole verse is on the same note. Da 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 da. It only changes on the pre-chorus. Just now he takes off her dress. Now let me go. But even that is very much around the same note. Okay, so those are really great songs to get you started. Now, once you've found the note, because it's the same note, you're more likely to stay in tune. It doesn't matter if it goes awry a little bit, but if you stick to singing a song around the same notes, you're going to pick things up much more quickly than trying to sing melodies that are a bit more seesaw and roller coastery. The other great thing about these songs is that you can sing them in a speaking voice, so you don't have to try and sing. Just do it in a da 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 da. It's exactly the same for me. It's exactly the same as my speaking voice. Back to Black is a little bit higher. He left no time to regret, but it's very close to my speaking voice. So choose songs that are very close to your speaking voice, that hover around the same note, and that's going to help you to improve your pitching and your accuracy. Now, if you've got a naturally high voice, that's fine. Go for songs that are a little bit higher, but that still hover around the same note. Listen though, so the next thing is to listen to where the melody goes up or down, okay? Singers don't listen, musicians don't listen, and singers are notoriously bad for listening, same as guitarists. The best listeners are drummers, but singers are notoriously bad for listening. We just want to get in there and sing. I recommend listening a few times before, even if you think you know the song, before even attempting to sing it. Take some time to actively listen to it a few times and note where the melody goes up and down. Then focus on one part, for example, the chorus. You're likely to know the chorus more than any of the other parts, unless it's too high or too low or quite difficult. Otherwise, then just go for a verse. So something that's nice and simple to learn, and listen to the whole song a few times, listen to the section a few times afterwards, and only then go in and attempt to sing it. So do you think it's higher, or did you think it was higher or lower than it actually is? You really got to listen to what the singer's voice is doing. They've been singing for years and will have had at least some training. And plus, don't compare your voice to theirs. At the moment, it's not about whether you sound good or bad, okay? It's just about being able to listen and to be able to find where the note lands and getting somewhere near that note. So we need to get the pitching and the accuracy right before we make it sound nice. Okay, so don't compare yourself to the original singers. They've been singing for years, probably had at least some training, and of course their voice is going through a lot of processing and production and effects before you even get to hear it, even when they sing live. So for singers who are able to hold a tune more naturally and want to take things to the next level a bit sooner, you can accelerate your progress by taking private singing lessons rather than group singing lessons, unless you really, really can't get to the private lessons. If they're not accessible for you, totally take group singing lessons. But the thing about the one-to-ones is that you're going to accelerate more quickly. You're going to do more actual training of your voice, and you're going to be able to overcome different challenges a lot more sooner than if you take group singing lessons. So a good question that comes up all the time is, how much should you expect to pay for singing lessons? Like anything, you get what you pay for. Do your research, try different singing teachers to get an idea of their style and whether you would like to spend time with them. So that's another one of the reasons that I make videos. I make videos to help people, but also for people who aren't sure about whether they want singing lessons with me, they can always come have a look at the videos, try out the exercises and see if they like my style of teaching, and then come along, have a vocal assessment and sign up for lessons. So yeah, do your research and find a singing teacher that you connect with. All right, singing can be very, very intimate, can be very exposing, and it's important that you feel comfortable with your singing teacher. There are a range of different types of singing lessons, private singing lessons you can take. So singers who are at a certain level and either sing professionally or who are already professional singers, they'll expect to pay more for high quality singing lessons, and these singers would expect or should be prepared to pay upwards of £100 per hour. I'm in Britain, so £100 per hour for a trained, qualified singing teacher with industry experience and at least 3 years of experience. Now, I'm in London, and so everything it's a slightly higher investment. Every single thing, including a bottle of water, is a slightly higher investment than everywhere else. So if you're not in the UK, or you're not going for a UK based teacher, it may be a little bit less, maybe around 70 or 80 euros, for example. Okay. Now, during your one-to-one private singing lesson, a good teacher and coach is going to tailor the warm-ups to your voice and to your needs. I like to make exercises up on the spot to deal with specific needs of the singer or specific parts of the songs. The ones that work best then become part of my huge toolkit, which I then pull out for other singers as well. But only an experienced singer teacher will be able to do that, because we know what works. We've tried so many different things over the years. Different things work for different people. So then you can start to create exercises for specific problems, challenges, singers. Now, less experienced teachers will likely have a set of exercises that they use with all of their students. These teachers usually charge lower rates, anywhere from around £35 an hour, which is very, very low. I wouldn't really recommend that you go to a singing teacher who is charging as low as that. With anything, I don't recommend always going for the cheapest, because, and I'm not saying this to be rude to anybody, but you do get what you pay for. So that £35 an hour is a very, very low rate for the UK. In larger towns and cities, you should expect to pay around £50 to £60 an hour for a good teacher with some experience. Now, my lessons are £100 an hour, but because we actually do programs, so this is at the time of recording, so because we do programs rather than charging for single lessons, is actually less than that. So if you are looking for singing lessons and you would like to try out singing lessons with me, then book yourself a vocal assessment or come to one of our taster sessions. I'm going to put the link in the descriptions. So what will you be learning? You're going to be learning it's going to be different depending on your level and your ability and how much you practice. Okay, so what will you learn during a singing lesson? A good singing lesson is made up of warm-ups, vocal techniques, and singing of the songs. And when you're singing the songs, you're going to apply the techniques that you learn in the technique exercise section of your lesson. You're going to apply those techniques to the song. It can be tricky at first. It does take time, but eventually it becomes very natural and very fluid. Okay, now, how often should you practice? How long's a piece of string? Again, it really depends on what your outcome is, what you want to get from singing lessons. Do you just want to have a jolly once a week with a group of people in a community centre and have a laugh, all right? Or are you planning to go and perform in front of people and become a professional singer? Now, when I started, I practiced for an hour every single day. I wouldn't expect everyone to do that, but I would expect someone who is taking singing seriously and considering it as a career, I would expect them to practice every day, most days. Not always for an hour. Sometimes you can only fit 20 minutes in, sometimes 45 minutes, but I would practice every day. And if you are having singing lessons, make them worthwhile. If you don't do anything in between, especially if you're paying for one-to-one singing lessons, if you don't do anything in between, you're not going to make much progress, and you're not going to get the best from your singing lessons, and you're not really going to be utilising your teacher very well either. As a serious performer, it's really important that you're able to deliver compelling performances that people want to come back and see you, and you don't want to be worrying about vocal strain. Okay, so save up for lessons if you need to. Find the best teacher that you can afford. Please don't go for the cheapest just because they're the cheapest. Find one that you connect with. If it doesn't feel affordable, have a chat with them. They're there to help you. They might be able to juggle some things around, do installment plans, that kind of thing. Okay, so I hope this has helped you. I hope you now understand the differences between group singing lessons and private one-to-one singing lessons, and I hope it's helped you to make a decision. I'll see you very, very soon. Stay hydrated. Ciao!